Ready, go.
Hi guys, it's another week and they're so exciting to see everybody's faces. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Kerrville. We're so excited to have you here today. We have 35-ish people here and that's really fun. We've been growing and doing things safely, so I'm really proud of our club and our membership and really welcome all of our virtual guests. So I'd like to remind you to turn off your cell phones, but before you do, please check in with Facebook and let them know you're attending your Rotary meeting. And also to ask our virtual members to mute their computers so that we don't have any interference with the meeting. I'd like to invite Roy Boudreau to lead us in the pledge and give us our invocation.
If you would bow your heads and pray with me, please. Father, we are eternally grateful for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. We're thankful for this day that you've given us, for its blessings and its opportunities as well as its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for your strength and guidance for each day, for the duties, for the problems. May we be challenged to give our best always. And may we be assured of your presence with us. In your precious and holy name we pray. Amen. Join me in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. That was really nice. We have a very exciting speaker today. I think it's near and dear to a lot of our hearts. If you've been here any length of time, you know that Schreiner University began as Schreiner Institute, and we have a lot of graduates probably still in the area. So we're going to get to hear what's happening at Schreiner University, and I'm so excited for that. I'd like to invite President-elect Jeff Harris to introduce our speaker.
Thank you, President Robin. We are, President Robin, I am so sorry. We're talking about Robin and Tammy, President Tammy. There's my snafu for the day, thank you. So, General, I hope I get you right. If I call you Felicia or something, we're okay. So, it is my esteemed honor to introduce our guest speaker with us today. I've had the opportunity to meet with General Walter before, have lunch with him and some of his staff. And I think we're on the right road at Schreiner University, what the mission is. So Major General Robert Walter retired from the United States Army in 2017. He's now serving as the Director of Strategic Initiatives for Military Affairs at Schreiner University. General Walters most recently served as Associate Director, Deputy Director for Operations in the Central Intelligence Agency's National Clandestine Service for Community Human Intelligence. Prior to his assignment as CIA, Major General Walters served as Assistant Deputy Chief of Staff for Intelligence at the Pentagon. So I don't know if anybody's been to the Pentagon, but it's pretty interesting. Earlier, he also served as the Deputy Commanding General for the Intelligence and Security Command at Fort Boulevard in Virginia. General Walters is a 2004 graduate of the National War College with a Master of Science in National Security Strategy and holds a Master of Arts in Security Management. Rob is currently serving as on the board of directors for G2K Labs, Halo Privacy, and So Company, all properly held suppliers of IT security solutions for government agencies, telecommunication services, and internet service providers. Rob and his wife, Kim, are natives of Frankfort, Kentucky. They've settled in the Ingram, Texas area. They have 2 adult children, Shelby, who's a student getting her master's at Our Lady of the Lake University, and Robbie is a sales associate in the Fort Worth area. General Walters' awards include the Distinguished Service Medal, the Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit with 2 Oak Leaf clusters, a Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal with 4 Oak Leaf clusters, Army Commendation Medal with 3 Oak Leaf clusters, an Army Achievement Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, Army Staff ID badge, and this shows right here that he is kind of crazier than most all of us because he has a Master Parachutist badge, and as he told me this morning, he has some neck issues from it. He also has parachutist badges from the Royal Australian, the Mexican, and the Turkish parachute badges. So with that, I would like to introduce Major General Robert Walter to us.
Morning. Thanks for having me. So I haven't probably given a speech for 4 years in a group, so I might mess things up. I got a couple of note cards here just to keep track. I want to reach out to the people that are virtual, and glad you could participate. I hope I don't bore you to tears and you just click the off button. I have enjoyed my time in the military, and I'll go over that briefly here in just a minute, just for those of y'all that might be interested. I want to introduce 2 people. Shannon DeVille is the director of Shriner Institute. He's actually my boss. And then Sergeant Major Roosevelt Nettles. He is an intern with Shriner Institute for our Military Academy prep school from hiring our heroes. Command Sergeant Major Nettles is a 29-year veteran, getting ready to retire here in a few months. We appreciate his service. He is the perfect candidate because he is in a medical training battalion down at Fort Sam Houston, and he's dealt with 18-year-olds far more than I have. He's already given us some great input. It's always fun to talk about what you're working on if you've got something to tell people. And so I look forward to sharing that with you. A little bit about me. Jeff said I was a native of Frankfort, Kentucky. I joined the Army when I was in high school, Army National Guard, went off to be a combat medic. Didn't work too well, went into ROTC, got my commission, and fell in love with the artillery because they had hot meals. They had a kitchen you could run around, had hot meals on it, and it was a lot better than sea rations out of a can. I was in the artillery for about 8 years, thoroughly enjoyed my service in the artillery with what we called cannon cockers, and just a great bunch of highly motivated young soldiers, and they taught me a lot about leadership. And that served me well when a branch transferred to military intelligence. I served I commanded at the battalion level, I commanded at the brigade level. I guess my forte is standing up organizations. And so probably the easiest organization to stand up is one in a combat zone because nobody tells you no. So I did that in Afghanistan, and then I came back, and as Jeff said, I was the Deputy Commanding General of INSCOM, and then did a penance at the Pentagon for a year, and I escaped to the even worse place called the CIA. That was actually a good assignment for me. It put me at the top of my game because I was a human intelligence officer trained by those guys about 30 years ago. So I'm not used to standing in front of anybody. I'm usually the fly on the wall, or try to be. And then I try to get you to tell me everything that you're doing so I can write it down and pass it on to others. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to try to tell you as much as I can about Shriner Institute and the opportunity that we have to help young people aspire and achieve their goals of commissioned officership in one of our services, armed forces. So for those of you that do not know, Shriner Institute began in 1923. We're almost on our 100th anniversary. Now, I said Shriner Institute. It's actually now Shriner University. And so we are trying at Shriner Institute to bring back the heritage from 100 years ago. It was a military style prep school, secondary school, and about 95 students attended that first year from around the hill country. And they were put through a regimen, a military tradition of morning physical training, living quarters inspections, 67 hours of academics, close order drill or drill and ceremonies for those of you who may have served in the military. It's with our marching and use of weapons. Then they did a brief relaxation period and had dinner. That was followed by tutoring and/or study halls, directed study, so they could prepare themselves academically. And then a 9:45 lights out. We're going to get up in the morning and start all over again. So there are photos all over Shriner University of the men in uniform. There were no women then. We actually have a video clip at Shriner University of about 1937, and there was 2 battalions worth of men in uniform doing drill and ceremonies on the parade field. Now, Shriner Institute today will never get to that level of participation, I don't believe. There will have to be a major change in this country and a significant war for us to get there, and hopefully that will never happen. But it is nice to see that heritage. It is nice to see that culture, and Shannon and Sergeant Major and I are going to do our best to try to bring some of that back for the young cadets that will be attending Shriner Institute, or we hope to attend Shriner Institute. So how many of you have heard of Greystone? That's the last I'll speak of it. We are moving forward. And I say that because I took over a unit where the battalion commander defected to Israel, and I got left with all of his trash. It was really bad morale. So we don't want to create an environment of bad morale. What we want to do is move forward. So that is what we're doing.
Miller, we've talked about this.
I'm sorry?
That's kind of nice.
Okay. That's all right. That happens. I got it. It's a virtual world, right? Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Maybe somebody was correcting me. So we want a program to be more robust. We want our program to include Reserve Officer Training Corps, which right now we have a crosstown agreement with University of Texas, San Antonio for Air Force cadets, ROTC cadets. And we are in hopes that we can create an Army ROTC program. And I looked up because I should be able to do that. But actually our ROTC in America across the nation right now, they're looking to put most of their assets into the urban environment. And of course, Kerrville is not one of their urban environments that they're considering. However, we hope to be one of the rural crosstown agreements so that we can participate in the Army. The Army actually provides a little bit better opportunities from a student standpoint. Basically, Air Force ROTC, if you're not going to be a pilot, then okay, you're mildly interesting. In the Army, we're interested in everybody. So, so we hope to have that program in place. And then the other thing that we've added to Shriner Institute that wasn't present with the former organization there was focus on veterans and veterans resources so that we can reach out to not only veterans that are transitioning from the service and offer them a place to get a higher education for their next career, but also their dependents that may be attending university or want to attend university. So that's really the 3 things that we're focused on is the military academy prep, the ROTC programs, and then veterans programs. I think in our effort to revitalize and return to the days of old, or at least have a robust military presence on Shriner University, what we have coined the phrase that we're preparing future leaders while making sure that we're honoring and serving our past and those veterans in our past. That's all I have to do. That's all I have to present today, but I would like to open it up for questions because I frankly learn more by questions and things I need to think about. And I would like to do that now, if y'all don't mind. Yes, sir. So I got to be careful because I haven't talked about everything to the dean of students and the vice president provost. We do have an associate's degree of data science, which leads right into cyber. Matter of fact, I talked to a mathematics major last night at dinner who's going to graduate in December from Shiner University with a 4-year mathematics degree. And I told him he's got great opportunities in the world of cyber with data science because it's all about how you look at the data. And that's all cyber is. And then cyber command's not going to tell you that, okay? But it's about looking at the data. There's a little bit more sophistication to it than that, but yes, the university does have a cyber data science, which could easily be flipped over to a cyber focus. Now, whether they do that at a 4-year level, I don't know, but we do plan on offering an associate's degree in data science at Schreiner Institute. Yes, ma'am.
As someone that was familiar with the way it was structured previously, where you had a certain number of students and they were accepted to Schreiner Institute for classes while doing other service and related activities to try and prep for military academy and housed together, kind of part of their own unit within the school. Can you how many students? Is there anything beyond enrollment fees that they have to pay? Is the goal to have them for a year and then try and get them to an academy, or is it going a different way?
So one of the things that we're trying to do is think about the cost of a military academy prep or course or courses in order to prepare for the military academy. Sergeant Major and I were reviewing yesterday. I think there's 14,000 applicants starting out for a military academy nomination. And what was it, 800, Sergeant Major, that are actually going to get that nomination. So that's a significant small number. So the academy prep will be intense academics on what the academies require right now, which is physics, calculus, chemistry with a lab, and English, a composition, and literature. The whole intent of the military academy program is to get them prepared for their nomination packet. The decisions are made on or about the 15th of March, depending on the specific academy. And we will encourage all those cadets that are at Schreiner Institute to apply for all of the academies because that increases their chances. Now, there are going to be some students that just want to go to West Point. There are going to be others that have got a long history of naval service and they only want to go to the Naval Academy. They're really hurting themselves when they do that, though. So we will encourage them to try to apply for all. But there's going to be students from 14,000 to 800 that do not get in. That may get a nomination, but they don't get accepted. One of the things that we're trying to do, and one of the things that the previous program at Schreiner University did, was have second year attendance for that second shot. You know, go back and increase your physics grade from a B to an A and apply again. And give us, if you really want to go to academy, then give it a shot. Well, by the time you've attended 2 years at Schreiner Institute, you're going to have completed approximately 72 hours of instruction. Most associates degrees only require 60. So one of the reasons we went to the provost and asked for the data science degree or an associate uh, degree in general studies for arts or sciences, because it's heavy on sciences. One of the other things we're trying to do is create an associate in leadership. So a parent that's paid the $20,000 a year to attend the military academy prep school, if their student doesn't get in the first year, they can still come back and walk away with an associate's degree for the money that they've spent. We'd like to keep them 4 years, and that's the reason we'd like to get an ROTC program where they can go from, okay, I didn't make it to the academy, but I still want to serve, and I've got another opportunity. So that's really the vision of the university leadership, is to give more than one opportunity to get a higher education, because you shouldn't not get into an academy and fail at your goal. I never went to the academy. I didn't go to academy prep. I enlisted in high school. I did okay. So did that answer your question? We want parents to get something for their money, and they will. They'll be disciplined when they leave here. They'll be highly educated. And if they just choose to stay for 4 years, then they'll have the opportunity to do that. But if they're ready to go on and do something else, then they'll walk away with an associate's degree. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'd welcome your ideas on that, but right now there's not any scholarships for veterans trying to achieve a master's degree. Usually your veterans benefits for the, as you phrased it, GI Bill, which is still exists. There's several chapters now that offer different incentives, but it's usually for 36 months of education. So that doesn't even cover an undergraduate degree. Now, there's ways to skin that cat, but it requires a lot of academic work in order to get your 4-year degree in 3 years. But most of the time, that is all you're going to have, is about 36 months. There are programs in the state of Texas. Texas Veterans Commission and the legislature in Texas have provided the Hazelwood Act, which allows an additional 150 hours, which amounts to about 50 credits, I believe. 50 classes. I might be wrong on that. I got my numbers wrong. That is an opportunity. Matter of fact, my son is looking at using my Hazelwood Act to get his master's degree. He will not have enough hours to finish his master's, but it will be probably 2/3 of his master's. Yes, sir.
University, we're allowed, we have a MOU or memorandum of understanding signed with the Department of Defense to be able to accept the tuition system, so we can have active students attend our university, and it's not tapped into their GI benefits. What we do on the great measures, we offer 150 hours, or $150 per credit hour, which is really reduced compared to our normal tuition rates for those active duty service members, because tuition assistance is capped each year by each individual service. And in order to try to maximize the ability for an active duty member to use those benefits during that possible. There's a lot of programs today that weren't there yet years past, and I think moving forward, there's only going to be more opportunities that arise because the military understands the importance of education now. I don't know if that helps with any of that as well. But the idea of being able to provide scholarship opportunities to our veterans through graduate programs is something we definitely appreciate if we're able to grow our funds in a way.
So the short answer to your question is, no, we don't have scholarships for master's programs. We do intend on providing the advice and counsel to veterans on opportunities they may have. And if you're talking about the future, we'd love for Shriner Institute to have a fund sitting there for the deserving veteran that needs a scholarship in order to stay at Shriner University. We're just not there yet. Yes, sir.
Joe, I know that veterans, mostly, we like to hang out with veterans. It's, service members hang out with service members. I've heard something about not so much a veterans center at Shriner University Institute, but isn't there an outreach or a group of veterans where, I know you have veterans on staff, so if you have a veteran that goes in and wants to have, hey, I'm having a hard time with this class, they can get paired with another veteran just because the way vets see eye to eye. Is it, if that is the case, can you expound on that just a little bit, please?
Sure. Shannon, did you give him that question? No, okay. Yes, so right now, we want to be, we were originally called Veterans Affairs as part of our title at Shriner Institute, and I wanted to change that, and fortunately, we made the case. We want to be a Veterans Resource Center. Now, that's not necessarily a physical place, but we do have one, and we would like to improve on it for veterans that are living off campus. They have a place to go. I mean, a 40-year-old Coast Guard veteran's probably not going to hang out with the 18-year-old basketball player. He might. It might be a son or daughter. But we want to provide a place, and this is largely based upon Toby Appleton's story about going to Shriner University after he retired. There was no place for him to turn to find out, hey, how does this GI Bill work? Hey, or a place to study. We've got a Coast Guard veteran right now, I think 136 hours credit, 154 credit hours. He's got enough for a bachelor's degree and a half, but he doesn't have them all at one university, so he's got to do 30 hours at Shriner. We see him sitting at all kinds of strategic places outside. There's been a couple of days it's been kind of cold to sit outside. We want that resource center to be a place where a veteran can get on the internet, a veteran can hang out between his class ends at 11 o'clock, and he's got another class at 2 and he doesn't want to drive home, but he could, throw a meal in the microwave, watch TV, study, get it on the internet. So we do intend to have that. We do have a small one right now. It's grossly inadequate. We'll do better. We gotta build the program. Yes, sir.
One more point on that. Kerr County is per capita the highest populated veteran, populated by the highest number of veterans per capita in the state of Texas. Is there something that we as a community could do to get the word out to you guys, to help you guys, to, let veterans know that there's a place, and would they have to go to Shriner University, or could it be a meeting place for veterans? Because, I love meeting vets and hearing stories. It's
Sure. So you're right. I hesitate only because I don't want to encroach upon Kerr County's Veterans Service Center. They've got a couple organizations within Kerr County. And what we're really focused on is those veteran students. We need to, we're not adequately postured from an infrastructure standpoint currently to even handle our veteran dependent population that we have right now. So I'd be really going out on a limb saying I'm going to reach out to veterans within the entire Kerr County when there's other organizations that do that. We want to be complementary, and we want to be focused, laser focused on those that are trying to achieve a higher education. Is that fair enough? Yes, sir.
We had Shannon last year who,
Probably did a better job.
no, he did fine, you're doing great, but he told us what you all plan to do this year.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, what have you actually gotten off the ground this year?
I wish he told me what he told you. So Shannon was instrumental in getting 11 Air Force ROTC cadets into Shriner Institute last year. We focused and got, correct me if I'm wrong, 5 or 7 veterans enrolled. But all the work that Shannon did last year has laid the groundwork for improvements this year. So we've got, I think, 2 requests to attend Military Academy Prep Program in the fall. Yeah, fall of 21, next school year. We, in the last week, have had no less than 6 inquiries for ROTC. Unfortunately, most of them are Army, and I haven't solidified the Army ROTC program, but we'll deal with that. And so those are just from what Shannon's initial efforts were to recruit high school students into the university. Additionally, we have signed up to be the national sponsor for the National Junior ROTC drill competitions. And we will participate with them in Dayton, Ohio for the Air Force Junior ROTC programs, Richmond, Virginia for the Army Junior ROTC, and then the Marine Corps will be the day before the national competition. So we are advertising with every junior ROTC program in the nation. The Shriner Institute's here for both MAPS and ROTC. We are in the process, hopefully. We'll see whether Sergeant Major can put up with Shannon and myself. But we are in the process. I think somebody asked a question you may have. We've got a dedicated dormitory for Shriner Institute Military Academy Prep. Sergeant Major gave us a to-do list yesterday that's going to improve the living quarters. And then we've got little things like backpacks, advertising campaigns. We have done 2 junior ROTC virtual intro to Shriner Institute, intro to Shriner University. So we're trying to use the current technology that COVID has forced us into to reach out to students. And we've done a session with the Northeast San Antonio Independent School District, as well as 29 high schools in Tampa, Florida. So those are the things what we're trying to do is think out of the box. We've got the AMED recruiters from Fort Sam Houston coming up to talk to our professors about our medical professionals education programs. We hope that we can do certification for EMT, CPR, those kind of certifications that veterans could get paid for on veterans education benefits to make them attract them to Shriner University. So it's not just about what we're doing at Shriner Institute, but the things that we're trying to do to leverage candidates and or other participants that may want to go get a MBA at Shriner University. We really think of ourselves as part of the university, and we've got to be a contributor to that. Did that answer your question, sir?
Pretty much.
Okay. Now leave anything else, Shannon?
We've taken over VA certification to ensure that the benefits are handled in the most effective way possible also in the last year. So I think by doing that, we're seeing an increase in veterans who are coming to the school. They're just this in between fall and spring, the ability to have a designated individual or an office to call. Yesterday I was on the phone with 6 different parents who are veterans wanting to use VA benefits for their children who either have already been a student at this school but didn't know they had access to these benefits, or becoming students but they don't know how to navigate the VA web of confusion. So having an office dedicated to providing the services is only going to make us more appealing as a university to that student population. So we've taken over that, we're improving upon that, we're gathering more information, and I think that's definitely a huge improvement for the university from where it was a year ago. I think I spoke in March, maybe it was March or April. So since then, we've been able to get back on campus because we were all working from home at that point, take over a workspace, get it set up, established, take over the certification process to streamline that, to provide a better service and resource for the veterans and veteran dependents, as well as all of the other things that we're doing as far as outreach. So we're starting to see, I'm seeing phone calls, and actually a student who starts, we're doing mini terms as well. So we've had academic complete changes in our academic schedule that's impacted everything as a result of it as well, switching from a semester to an 8-week term. But, you know, recruiting and bringing in students is not something that happens overnight. And I'm learning that the long and hard way. And I think Toby, being a recruiter in the Army, probably knows that you can plant a seed with someone as a junior in high school before they ever graduate and then end up doing what it is that you talked about 2 years ago. And so there's 3 veterans who are transitioning out of the military right now that will be at Shriner University over the course of the next 6 months that I started talking to last January whenever I first came on board. So it's not an overnight, you've got 50 people in the program and it's doing what it was doing a year ago with the previous program. It does take time to establish, but we're definitely taking strides to improve multiple facets in populations.
That's one of the reasons we thought that the national drill competition was an opportunity, because we get in front of sophomores and juniors, and while they may not be coming to a university or picking Shriner University next year, it could be the following year. And so we plant the seeds at these national competitions. We got national level advertising about Shriner University and Shriner Institute. And then we're working with the Military Order or World Wars here in the Hill Country. They have a program where they prep students with their interview process for the congressman, to get his nomination for the academies. And so that's a resource for us as well. We're going to, the National Drill Competition Company is going to bring a camp to Shriner University this summer, as well as the Military Order of World Wars is bringing their Youth Leadership Conference to Shriner University instead of going down to the USS Lexington. COVID is giving us that benefit to have those students on campus and get exposed to Shriner University. So there's little things that we're doing that we think are just, you know, efforts along the way. But when you step back and you're asked a question like that, I guess we're doing more than we think we are. We just don't have the student population yet, but we are certainly getting an uptick in inquiries, and you got to have inquiries before you can get a student across the door. One of the things that the veterans certification does is it lets us know who those veterans are, sometimes what their issues are. There are veterans out there that have issues, and what we want to be able to do is refer them to resources maybe in the county that can help them from a social standpoint where we can't. I really appreciate your time. We just want to tell you the story. We'd like to come back and tell you what the successes are. Maybe we'll have some cadets here to do the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance next fall sometime. So thank you very much.
I just want to add a quick note, caveat to Joe's presentation. Dr. McCormick had this vision almost a year ago now to have this program be under Shriner's umbrella. It was very ambitious for a school Shriner's size in an area, a rural area like Kerrville, for us to be able to have a program like this for our Hill Country students. So to kind of go back to Clint's question a while ago, despite COVID, despite the situation that they were put in, they've done tremendously remarkable things with this program and had the full support of Dr. McCormick and the rest of the leadership of Shriner. So I just think it's important that we keep in mind there were tremendous obstacles placed in front of these gentlemen since April of last year. For setting this program up, putting it on a firm foundation despite everything that was going on around them, and this thing looking towards a bright future. So,
Could you take that?
It's recording. I'll send it to you.
If you could send this clip to Dr. McCormick, we'd appreciate it.
You got it. Okay. Well, first of all, I would like for you to thank Clint Morris for us. He has been working diligently in this time of COVID, and we have not missed we've had a great program every week, and I want to tell him thank you. Okay, we have some club business to do. We have some exciting club business to do. First of all, before I get started on some new member inductions, which there are a few, I would like to do Families in Rotary for Stephanie Miller. She reports that her son, Cody, has been accepted to Texas Tech University, and he won the grandstand cutting torch competition last week in Fredericksburg. So yay for him. And I announced sometime in October, but I want to bring it up again, that member Tim Kremwalge has been nominated the Time Dealer of the Year Award. It is a partnership between Time Magazine and Alley. There are only 40 dealers in the entire nation nominated. He was nominated by the Texas Auto Dealers Association as the only nominee in Texas. So the reason I bring that up again is because the actual award ceremony will be February 9th, and we wish him a lot of luck. So,
Hey, Tammy.
of course, if they ask us, he is very deserving. Yeah. Yeah.
Stockton Williams, who's online, is recovering from a shoulder replacement. And, oh, I forgot his name. We need prayers for, he had to head out of town on a family emergency. Bolden. So, just prayers.
Scott Bolton.
Scott Bolden, yeah.
Okay, and it looks like we have Dave back again. So as y'all may or may not know, Dave Rittenhouse went back into the hospital, but is back home, and he looks really good to me. So welcome home, Dave. Okay, so if I could have the following people join us up front, if you're here. If you're online, we will do your induction virtually. Debbie Anders, Rick Cunningham, Laura Diane Osborne, Leslie Rambin, and Delane Siegerman. Okay, so COVID has caused us to be separated. It's caused us to have a little bit of interruption into our regular routine. One of the things that we have not been able to do, and I can tell you that these people have been waiting to be inducted for a long time. And so we are finally going to start trying to get these things back. We don't have everybody here that we're inducting, but we want to start doing this again, and we're so happy to have them. So at this time, I would like to begin the induction process. So on behalf of the Board of Rotary, the Rotary Club of Kerrville, and membership of the Rotary Club of Kerrville, it is with great pleasure to welcome you as the newest members of the club. We look forward to getting to know you at meetings and through service in many club projects. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to uphold the highest ethical and moral standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide friendship and peace can be achieved when people unite under the Rotary motto of service above self. Debbie, Rick, Laura, Leslie, and Delane, you have been chosen for membership in the Rotary Club of Kerrville because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community and because you possess the qualities to champion the message and principles of Rotary. You now become an ambassador of Rotary and want you to talk about the good things that we are doing and in and around our community and throughout the world. So I'd like you to welcome our newest members. These people are people that are new to the area or have transferred.
What we do is by gender specific, but we're going to introduce male members later. We include David also.
Yeah, he's a new member, correct? Yeah.
I'll be right here and I'll shut up.
Okay. So we have some packets, and what we'd like to do. Okay. And we would like to invite you each to say a word if you would like to about your new membership, and we're so happy to have you. Now, Delane, as you know, is returning to our club, so we have gotten to know her and we love her. And the other three ladies are coming from different areas, so we do look forward to getting to know you. So, would you like to come up and say something?
Well, good afternoon to everyone. I'm so honored to have this happen finally today. And I have been here in Kerrville since August year before. And I'm here to build my business as a business development consultant in working hopefully with Shriner in some way through the educational process of workforce, and as well as working from the government relations that I've been very involved with politically, community-wise. And I want to build my roots to be here in Kerrville and hopefully to retire. And I look forward to be very active within Kerrville's Rotary group as well. So thank y'all so much for this.
Thank you, and welcome to the club.
Hello, Diane Osborne. Been in Kerrville for about 2.5 years. I work for River Point as their executive director, and I'm transferring from the morning group and been very active with them and hope to be so with this group as well. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Leslie Wells Rambin, and I have moved here about a year ago from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I was in the Rotary there. And I am retired from, I own Fort Lauderdale Vacation Rentals, and hope to get to meet a lot of people here and be active in the Rotary and other organizations.
Well, I have been a little busy for the last 30 months, but now I'm hoping to put a little more time into Rotary. I'm Delane Sitterman. I'm a past city council member for Kerrville, and I now have some free time, but then I love Rotary. I love the things that they do, not just for our community, but worldwide. So I look forward to being part of that.
For each of you as transferring or returning members, we're assuming you have your 4-way test plaque. If you do not, please let us know. We'll be sure to get you one. I would now like to call Richard Bolin, David LeBrat, and online we have Bill Rector and Tammy Whedon. These are new members. These are members in the middle of COVID that saw what we were doing and wanted to become members. And that really just says a lot, I think. We've been a very busy club. So we want to welcome these members and tell them thank you. And we can't wait to work with you when we can actually get out and roll up our sleeves and do the stuff we do on a regular basis. So I'm going to read the induction information for you too, and Bill and Tammy as well. Okay, so Bill, Tammy, and David. On behalf of the board and membership of the Rotary Club of Kerrville, it is a great pleasure to welcome you as the newest members of the club. We look forward to getting to know you at meetings and through service projects. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to uphold the highest ethical and moral standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide friendship and peace can be achieved when people unite with the Rotary motto of service above self. Bill, Tammy, and David, you have been chosen for membership in the Rotary Club of Kerrville because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in your community and because you possess the qualities to champion the message and principles of Rotary. You now become an ambassador of Rotary and want you to talk about the good things we are doing in and around our community and throughout the world. So please join me in welcoming David, Bill, and Tammy as our newest members. And David, we have a plaque, your four-way test plaque for you. We have some other things. You will get your red badge, and your red badge becomes a regular blue badge when you visit 6 Rotarians and go to one of our board meetings. So then you'll get your regular badge, and you are, you were sponsored by Roy Boudreau. So if you and David would like to come up and say something, you're welcome to.
I always get that wrong. We are absolutely fortunate to have David and his wonderful wife, Linda. Not only, well, his wife, Linda's not in Rotary yet, but so far we've gotten David. We're delighted and fortunate to have them, not just in Rotary, but in Kerrville in general, because they moved here just recently, last Labor Day, bought a beautiful home, but like so many new homeowners, decided that they wanted to contribute to the coffers of the local contractors. And so they have been painting and putting in new flooring, and now they are undergoing a major landscape project. All that aside, he's a professional. He's still employed. He's contributing to the business community here as well. He's a residential mortgage professional and has done so for over 3 decades. He's quite the genealogist. He takes that to a whole different level. Not only does he have all the information about family and relatives, David is a member of the Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War. He has served as the commander of the Lieutenant Commander Edward Lee Camp No. 2 in Houston for a number of years. He has participated in various Civil War reenactments around the country as a hospital steward, reenacting the rank that his great-great-grandfather held during the Civil War. He is also active in the Republican Party as a precinct chairman, state district chairman, and served on the Texas State Republican Party Executive Committee for a number of years. He and his wife, Linda, as I said, moved here recently, and it is my great pleasure to present to you our newest member, David LeBrot.
Well, after that, after Roy and Barry's, everybody for, enough for both of us. I'm not sure what I should say. But it's a pleasure to be here. I've always dreamed about retiring here, and unfortunately, a couple of years ago, I lost my father-in-law, and that necessitated trips from Humboldt to Houston like every other weekend, and it got kind of old. And so we realized this year that with COVID, we realized that we were just working from home. We didn't need to be in Humboldt, so it made it real easy to make the move. And said, I've always wanted to be here. I've been coming up here for about the last 20 years, and now I don't have to leave. So thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to working with y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. Tammy was sponsored by Mike Huff. Mike Huff is not here, but Tammy, would you like to say something?
Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk quick because I don't want you to hear my dogs barking or my children making noise. But I'm sad Mike's not there to introduce me like the previous person. So I look forward to getting to know everybody in Rotary and being part of the community here in Kerrville. It's been wonderful living here the past year, and I'm looking forward to many, many more years.
Us too, us too. Thank you so much. I would like to introduce George Eichner, who sponsored Bill Rector, and ask both of them to say a few words.
I think a lot of you folks know Bill. He's been a lifelong, born and raised in Kerrville and been here forever. But he's a real case study, I think, for the Rotary Club. I've known Bill, I don't know, 25 years, I guess. And asked him probably about before COVID, so it was probably about a year ago, how come he never was in Rotary? His answer was, nobody ever asked me, okay? So I think you need to look around the people that you associate with and just ask the question. Bill, though, he's kind of a renaissance man. He's head of the historic revitalization of downtown. He was one of the first people to put up a historic plaque on the building. He's the chairman of the new museum that's coming in. I mean, he's just done everything. In fact, he's been the forefront with me to help get Christmas lights in Kerrville. And anyhow, he's a real worker. I tell you what, if you get him on your side, you're golden. So I welcome Bill, and I'm glad that you finally said yes.
Thank you, George, and I greatly appreciate your nomination. And I'd almost like to be classified as returning to Rotary because I was a member during the 1980s. And I sort of could identify with Delane because I was elected to city council and I was practicing medicine at the hospital, and I ran out of time, and I found every afternoon off I was going to Bandera, to Uvalde, to San Antonio, to Fredericksburg to make up meetings that I had missed. So I said, I just can't do this anymore. So it is good to be back. Thank you for the invitation.
Dr. Rector, we're so happy and proud to have you here. And given all the free time you have now, we're probably going to put you to use. So thank you so much. Okay, Christy, I don't believe that Richard Bolin is here or online. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so even in the time of COVID, we were able to induct this many members, 7 new members, and we have 2 that we will get to. Bill and Tammy, if you can get with me, I'll be glad to get you your new member packet and your 4-way test plaque. Okay, so we have some other things to do. I told you that we're busy. You know that we've done the Blue Santa. You know we adopted Doyle Center with regard to Blue Santa. You know that we have had Veterans Day breakfasts. We continue to stock the pantry at the Veterans Center. We had our Labor Day walk. We've had our 2nd blood drive. We've been really busy, but some other things that we do is try to look at what is needed in the community and fill that need. It came to our attention that the women's shelter during Christmas was, because of COVID, I suspect, had been at a higher level of occupants, and they really needed some help. So they reached out. They said they had a goal of $1,200. They thought they could help meet the needs of the women and the children that were in the shelter at that time. So we answered that call. And I wanted to read you what they sent. They sent us a nice little note. And I think when we do something as a club, we should hear the thank yous as a club as well. So dear President Tammy and all of Rotary Club of Kerrville, thank you for believing in our mission to end child sexual abuse and family violence. Your gift of $1,200 towards Christmas outreach provided much needed lift to children and adults experiencing trauma. Your community support inspires both those that we serve and our staff alike. Wishing you a great 2021. Anyway, I wanted you to hear that. That's not something that just our board or us should hear. You all should hear it because you made it happen. I'm trying to go fast because we're a little behind, but we had all these inductions, so please bear with me. On our announcements, invoices. I keep bringing up invoices, not because I'm trying to point anybody out. I just think that with you getting your invoices via email, if you could have missed it. So if you haven't gotten your invoice that was sent on the beginning of January, you are in our list as non-paid. So please look for your invoice and get it paid, and we'd appreciate it. And I'll just keep reminding you. If there's ever a problem, we'll reach out personally, but right now this is just a reminder. Okay, I sent an email about the phone bank, the Code Red sign up and vaccine phone bank. I would just I think we're a member, one of the largest membership clubs in Kerr County. We have 160 members. We really could make a difference in them trying to fill those slots for manning that phone bank to be able to help enroll people in the Code Red program, and then eventually help them get scheduled. We won't be scheduling, any volunteers wouldn't be scheduling, but we would help get them into the county website so that they could get scheduled to receive their COVID-19 vaccine. So I sent out the email. If you would like to help, I'm going to provide the county with a list of Rotarians that are willing to do so. And I need your name, your address, a phone number, and your driver's license number. There will be a background check of everyone that's there, and everyone that's there will get tested. So every day they're testing each person that walks in. So you wouldn't have to worry about being near someone with COVID because every single person would have been tested before you got there. Zoom technical support. So when everything's running smooth and great, it's wonderful. But then you have something like Dave Rittenhouse is the only person doing our Zoom meetings because Christy usually has to be here, and Dave couldn't do it. So now we're finding that we have a need for backup Zoom operators to help us continue to facilitate our dual platform meetings. So if you're willing and you have the ability, please consider getting trained to do so. I don't believe the training is that intense. And as far as the meetings, basically you let everyone in. It's not real time consuming once you get there, but it is a responsibility that more than just one person can do. So if you're willing to do that, please let us know.
Could I say something, Tammy?
Yes, I was waiting for you to.
Here I am. Yeah, I had come off mute. So I would really appreciate if, we have one or two more people that would volunteer for this. There's actually several things that go on during the meeting to do a good job of Zoom moderation. So we could actually use more than one person at any one point in time. For instance, somebody could take care of the flag. Just doing that alone is something that needs to be done. And it's really easy to do it, by the way. And we need somebody that can take care of attendance, and that would be very helpful. So, if we had a little team of, 2 or 3 people that work together, this would really be helpful. This is not hard, guys. So I would hope that somebody else out there would volunteer. I'd like to have, preferably 2 more people that would get in on this.
Well, thank you, David. And thank you so much for all you've done to keep us together. As you know, there are people that wanted to meet in person and people that are not ready yet to do so. So we've been able to keep our club together by providing this dual platform. Yes. Yay, David. Okay, so I have to talk about the blood bank. Our next blood bank is March 16th. If you look at your email from yesterday, there's a link you can make an appointment. I would like to call Jeff Harris up to talk about our main event that's coming up. Please, please, please understand how important it is for us to do this as a team. He's going to need you.
By golly, I'm going to get it right this time. Thank you, President Tammy. There we go. Also, I would like to introduce Toby Appleton as one of our guests that's on the staff over at Schreiner University. He was, I asked him to be here today for the presentation from the general. So just here for lunch. So I'm going to get like Dave Samuel here real quick. I am fired up. Guess what I have under my table right now? We got tickets. 4 tickets per envelope, per member, ready to go, ready to sell. So if you want to pick up your tickets before you depart today, please see me. They're numbered just like we did last year. Carol Twist and some of the main events committee members stuffed envelopes. So everything is in there numbered, and we can start doing that immediately. So thank y'all for that. Each Each person does have 4 tickets per envelope. If you want more, you sell more, by golly, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make a lot of money and we're gonna be great at it. And we can help Roy Boudreau go to some counseling sessions because he was in the Air Force and he gets impatient. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Come see me afterwards if you'd like to, and we'll get this taken care of. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jeff. And as you know, the main event is virtual, and it's replacing our Super Bowl, our only fundraiser of the year that provides for the next year's funding for the new and incoming president. I'd like to give away some wine. Greg Peschel, are you still here? And if so, are you wearing your pin? I think he left. Okay, George Eichner, are you wearing your pin? Yay! So I have some wine for you over there. Sorry, I'm going so fast. I think that is it. So if you guys will join me in the 4-way test. Of the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better
friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?